Hello my dear students, today I will do background of human rights. I hope you guys have gone through my yesterday's session that was on foundation of human rights. So now in this session I will talk about the background of human rights. So background of human rights actually is very rich. It has lots of incidents, wars, amendments, formulations, theories and all. So if you want to go through deeply into the background of human rights, you can browse in the internet or you can find out lots of videos on YouTube. Okay, and my session here I'm talking about the important points of background of human rights. Here we will see the development of human rights, how these human rights came into being in chronological order, one by one. So let's move on to the next slide. Here it begins during 539 BC when the armies of Cyrus the Great, who was the first king of ancient Persia, conquered the city of Babylon. All right. He after conquering this city, what he did was the main thing to understand, main thing to know. What he did is he freed the slaves, declared that all people had the right to choose their own religion, and established racial equality. So the great king Cyrus the Great was a man who loved human rights, who was against the system of slavery, kingship, where all powers are accumulated into one man's hand. Okay, and also he was against racial discrimination. Then after doing so, he recorded the decrees into a baked clay which was in the shape of a cylinder, and which is now known as Cyrus cylinder. And this cylinder is world's first charter of human rights. And this charter is being translated into 6 official languages of the United Nations, and its provisions parallel to the first 4 articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. From Babylon, the idea of human rights spread quickly to India, Greece, and eventually to Rome. There, the concept of natural law arose in observation of the fact that people intended to follow certain unwritten laws in the course of life, and Roman law was based on rational ideas derived from the nature of things. So natural law, there are certain laws which are unwritten, which are unspoken, but we just tend to follow them. For example, respecting your elders, respecting your parents, these are certain laws which nobody teaches you. It just comes to us from our generation to generation. It percolates, these laws percolates down from older generation to the younger generation, and it is nowhere written. These are natural laws. Likewise, there are natural rights. Human rights are also termed as natural rights, because these rights you have just because you have been born as human being, like right to freedom, right to live, right to speech, right to follow any religion you like. These rights are natural rights. So now let's move on to the next slide and find out what happens one after another incident. With its origin in medieval European moral and political theory, the human rights philosophy was shaped by the writings of John Locke and Hugo Grotius. So these are the two authors who gave certain shapes, certain theories, certain ideas to the theory of moral and political theory of human rights. Here, talking about John Locke, he was a political philosophy and he developed a theory. Also, he believed in equality. He refuted the divine right of kings. He did not believe that power should be accumulated in the hands of one man, which is king. He refuted the theory of the divine right of kings and argued all persons are endowed with natural rights to life, liberty and property, and the rulers who fail to protect those rights may be removed by the people by force if necessary. So here again this person talks about natural rights, right to life, right to liberty and right to property. Likewise, Hugo Grotius also followed the idea of Locke. He was a diplomat and a lawyer and he believed in international law. Next we have Rousseau's social contract theory. And Thomas Paine's The Right of Man. Rousseau developed this theory, social contract, and he believed that laws are binding only when they are supported by the general will of the people. His famous idea, man is born free, but he is everywhere in chains, challenged the traditional order of society. And Thomas Paine's The Right of Man also has some articles in it. It speaks about 31 articles which posits that popular political revolution is permissible when a government does not safeguard the natural rights of its people. So you can see that all these authors talks about natural law and natural rights. And okay, so their ideas and their theories incorporated in Magna Carta in 1215. Okay, this Magna Carta is known as the Great Charter. So this is very important document, this Magna Carta, where it established the principle that everyone is subject to the law, even the king. Here this Magna Carta speaks about equality. Okay, it also supports the idea where the power shouldn't be accumulated in one man's hand. So so what is there in this Magna Carta is, since it is one of the most important documents in the history, it established the principle that everyone is subject to the law, even the king, and guarantees the rights of the individuals, the right to justice and the right to a fair trial. Then next we have is Petitions Right 1968. So in 1968, this petition rights, it prohibits discrimination, conquering the state, rental and financing of housing based on race, religion, national origin or sex. So these rights are civil rights. So here also it talks about equality. Okay. Next we have English Bills of Rights 1689. This is an act that the Parliament of England passed on December 16, 1689. The bill creates separation of powers, limits the powers of the king and queen, enhances the democratic election, and supports or strengthens freedom of speech. So here, English Bill of Rights also doesn't support accumulation of power into one hand, and it limits the powers of king and queen. And next we have is the natural law theory of Locke. So this Locke is the same person, John Locke, and he talks about the natural law theory. He believes in natural law and natural rights. And also he believes that human nature is characterized by reason and tolerance. Next we have Act of Settlement 1701. This is an act of parliament in England that was passed in 1701 to settle the succession to the English and Irish crown on Protestants. Next we have American Declaration of Independence 1776. This is the pronouncement adopted by the Second Colonial Congress meeting in Philadelphia on 4th July 1776. It states that the authority to govern belongs to the people rather than to kings, that all people are created equal and have rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The American colonial had been at war with Great Britain for over a year when the document was signed. And next we have French Declaration of the Rights of Man 1791. So this is the fundamental document, of French Revolution and the history of human and civil rights. This paper explains a list of rights such as freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and separation of power. Also individual and collective rights. And next we have Bill of Rights in US Constitution. So you can see this Bill of Rights in US Constitution, it also happened in 1791, and this happened in December 1791, whereas French Declaration of the Rights of Man happened in August 1791. So these two incidents took place in the same year. So here in the Bill of Rights of US Constitution, they have first 10 amendments to the Constitution, which guarantees civil rights and liberties to the individual, and these are freedom of speech, press, and religion. It sets the rules for due process of law and reserves all powers, not delegates to the federal government to the people or the states. So in all these incidents, in all these charter, petitions, and law and settlements, everybody talks about right to freedom, right to speech, natural law, natural rights, rights of man, equal separation of power into different two different authorities, no accumulation of power in one man's hand. So all these things talks about one particular idea, which is human rights. So this is how human rights came into being, and this is how what we see human rights today. So in next session we will discuss about human rights, its characteristics. First we'll discuss about its nature, characteristics, then slowly we will move on to human rights education. We are still in understanding human rights, what human rights are and how it has come into being. And today's session we have finished the history of human rights, and after that we will move on to concept, meaning and definition of human rights. Then we will move on to characteristics, nature of human rights. Then eventually we will move on to human rights education.